I'm sure, as you have heard, Jimmy Carter, 39th President of the United States, passed away a few days ago. And while he was definitely one of the worst presidents in US history, his funeral turned out to be a rather interesting event and a rather uniting event for some of the most unlikely characters. Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. I appreciate you being here. Before we get started, do me a couple favors. Hit the thumbs up button and also help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button now and turn on your notifications so that you never miss out on a conversation like the one we're about to have. As I said, Jimmy Carter's funeral was a couple of days ago, and without a doubt, history proves undeniably that he was a terrible president. It's no surprise that people like Joe Biden would speak of this man as someone to look up to, as someone with character, who exemplified what it means to be a true Christian, and is someone he urged young people to look up to and to study and use as an example of what it means to be an American.
We've never fully lived up to that idea of America. We've never walked away from it either because of patriots like Jimmy Carter. Throughout his life, he showed us what it means to be a practitioner of good works and a good and faithful servant of God, and filled with the power of faith, hope, and love. Say it again: faith, hope, and love. To young people, to anyone in search of meaning and purpose, study the power of Jimmy Carter's example.
But as I said, at this event, there were several interactions that were quite fascinating to see. So in no particular order, we saw Justin Trudeau, the only male on earth that I will ever be open to acknowledging with female pronouns. And I just have to say, Canada, I am a fellow Canadian. You should be embarrassed. I do think that this guy put into perspective why you guys should be humiliated at having this guy as a leader for as long as you have.
Justin Trudeau had a very busy day today. He went to Jimmy Carter's celebration of life. Look at how he acted. You can't make any of this stuff up. That is his face. Then he stares off at Donald Trump, and guess what he has on his wrist? That's right. That's probably why his face is like that, because he should be embarrassed to be a world leader with friendship bracelets on.
This next clip, we have everybody filing in. We've got Donald and Melania Trump. We've got Mike Pence and his wife, Obama, absent of Michelle, the Bushes, the Clintons, and you just have to wonder, who made the seating chart and what was their thought process behind putting Obama next to Trump? And what was going on in everyone's minds as they were filing in? I'm not going to get insight into what every single interaction was, obviously, but this is what was going on between Mike Pence and Trump. In this article, it says, though Mike Pence hadn't seen Donald Trump since leaving the White House, the former vice president said he was grateful to get a moment to speak with him at Jimmy Carter's state funeral this week. The day after the funeral, Pence talked with Christianity Today editor-in-chief Russell Moore about his continued prayers for his former running mate, his impressions of the incoming administration, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and his interactions with Carter. The opportunity to speak to the president yesterday is something that I appreciated, I welcomed, he told Moore in a CT podcast episode that will air Wednesday. I've really been blessed at how much I've heard from people around the country who saw our handshake, and in that handshake saw some hope that we might be moving past those difficult days. That's certainly my hope. There's no doubt, at least in my mind, that this man who spent 4 years by the side of President Trump and then absolutely turned his back on him did so because of political gain. That's just how I see it, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree. However, I also can believe that he's probably grateful that Trump, who he did spend countless hours of time with, can shake his hand and acknowledge him in a friendly way. And while it's easy to be hostile to people who have wronged you, and it would be most of our natural instincts to want to give a cold shoulder to someone who's betrayed our trust, I think it's almost harder to deal with your poor choices when the person you betrayed is nice to you. It's easier to justify your actions against someone when they're a jerk and when they're rude and when they're mean. But when they're the bigger person, it just makes you feel even worse. And you have to wonder if that's what Trump is doing here. That, and I also believe that no matter how awful the media tries to paint Trump as being, he is always the bigger person. And we can see that in how he and Obama were interacting. Now, this was obviously the clip that really set the internet on fire because, as most of us speculate, Obama is likely the one, or at least one of the main people, who has orchestrated most, if not all, of the attacks against Trump and has been working to keep this man out of office and to get him out of office in some capacity since 2016. I mean, just weeks ago, this is what he was saying about Donald Trump.
Some of the people who know Donald Trump best have been saying in no uncertain terms that he should not be president again. The other day, General John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, said that Trump told him he wanted his generals to be like Hitler's generals. Now, don't boo, vote. Now, I want to explain that in politics, a good rule of thumb is don't say you want to do anything like Hitler.
Obviously, now that they've lost this election and they have nothing to gain by continuing to push that narrative, it's fine to sit down and joke with this man who's supposedly worse than Mao and worse than Stalin, and a man who is a threat to every woman in America. Yet, strangely, none of these women look scared to be within mere feet of Donald Trump. Well, except for Justin Trudeau. Then Kamala walks in with her husband, Doug, beat your girlfriend Emhoff, and she looks anything but scared. She looks annoyed that Obama is being friendly with him, but scared? No. Just as a side note, shockingly, Kamala was not the only one triggered by this friendly exchange between Obama and Trump. Of course, our good friend Sunny, my husband is a criminal Hostin, lost it when she saw this clip as well.
I am very curious about what Donald Trump could have possibly said to make President Obama smile. I don't know if it was a that was dumb smile or if it was something that was he was truly engaged by it. So you see that smile? See that smile? So I'm reading shady stuff into it, but I was
somebody give Barack Obama a Best Actor Oscar right now. The guy is classy.
Sunny, if anybody's familiar with the "that was dumb" smile, it would be you. If Obama deserves a Best Actor award, then so does Trump, because he's definitely hiding his deep admiration for dictators and genocidal maniacs and his hatred for all women really well. Obviously, there was more than just a smile. These men talked for several minutes and they engaged. It wasn't just Trump talking and Obama giving him the cold shoulder or just being polite. They were joking back and forth. But you do have to wonder, what were these guys saying to each other? Was it this?
Well, Mr. President,
For a second time. Barack, very nice to see you.
congratulations. How you doing?
A lot better, Dan.
Yeah, I bet knew you'd win.
Oh, really? Oh, come on. Anyone could beat her.
Kidding
She's
me?
just...
I was just as appalled. You know what happened? He just didn't want to leave.
I know.
Is what happened. I did what I could to help her. She was for Entis.
I know. You know what I realized? Hillary still hates me. So much. I know. She'll never forget me. We should meet to discuss
I
this.
think so too. We can definitely set something up. Let me know whatever
Oh, we
works
got-
best for you.
I was going to fly back to Florida tomorrow for the golf.
Okay.
And there was Melania. Now, while her husband is able to be pleasant with those around him despite everything they have thrown at him, us women, we're not so forgiving. There was this look on her face the whole time. I think this is a combination of a few things. She knows that every single person there that they are surrounded by has tried to ruin her husband, ruin their life, ruin their family, and she's just not going to pretend that it's okay. So I think she's expressing enough disgust for both of them. But not only that, it was the 1-year anniversary of the passing of her own mother, so she was dealing with a lot in that moment. I think she still handled herself gracefully and with poise, and I personally cannot wait to have her back in the White House as a true inspiration to women. Those were the main highlights, but just for honorable mention, this was Hunter Biden, who, though it looks like he might be emotional at the loss of Jimmy Carter, I'm going to guess since he's touching his nose, there's likely more going on here. And then there was Joe Biden, who, when he wasn't speaking, just decided to sleep through the whole thing. Of course, one of the main points here is that these people never, ever, ever believed that Trump was truly Schmittler, or that he was a threat to democracy, or that he was this evil, dangerous man. They just needed you to believe that to scare you away from voting for him. But it didn't work. I hope you enjoyed the Jimmy Carter funeral highlight reel. Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below. Again, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
So, you know, Greenland and Canada, I'm really going to do it. I'm making Bush governor of Canada.
Yep,